Hey everyone, this is Avicious and welcome to my Gimp tutorial series. Today I'm going to be introducing you to Gimp, the GNU image manipulation program, which is an option to Photoshop. It's actually the free option. It's an open source software. I'm going to introduce you to the interface as well as certain tools, layers, and we're going to start creating our first image. So hang tight, we're going to be moving pretty fast. We're going to open Gimp. If you haven't opened it, go ahead and do so. I'm going to show you the interface here. We have our toolbox to the left, and I'm going to be going over these tools as we use them and showing you how they work. To our right, we have the Layers and Patterns dialog box. First box up here in the top right is Layers, and you can also work with channels and your undo. And then the bottom here we have Brush Patterns, we have Patterns, and we have Gradients. I should say Brush Styles, not really patterns, but you get the idea. Anyway, let's go ahead and start our first image. Let's start out by making an image with a transparent background. So we're going to go to File, New. We're going to click a template, 640 by 480. And then to get the transparency, we're going to click here on Advanced Options. We're going to the Fill Width, change that from background color to transparency, and click OK. Now you see we have a nice space to work with. The checkered background means that it's transparent. And to our right, we have our very first layer called Background. Now, the first thing we're going to do is change and manipulate the background layer. Now to do that, we have a list of tools over here to the left that we can use for that purpose. Now let's just change it to a black background. We're going to get rid of the transparency and change it to a black background. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the layer we want to change, go to our Fill tool, and by default, Gimp uses the foreground color. This is the foreground color, this is the background color, and that can be changed just by clicking on them. So we're going to be using black, which is the default, which is because it's the foreground color. So we're going to click the bucket tool, highlight the active layer, click, and there we have a black background. But it can be kind of boring just to use a solid color, so what we're going to do is put a pattern as the background. Now I went ahead and pre-downloaded some patterns for this purpose. So off to our right, in our dialog boxes down here, we're going to click on our Patterns dialog box and click on the grass, right there in the center. Now I'm going to be doing this a different way, and I'm going to show you how to put this pattern as the background from our menu bar. So we're going to go ahead and click, highlight our active layer, we're going to click Edit, Fill with Pattern, and that's going to change our background to a pattern. And there you have it. We just manipulated our first layer from a transparent to a black background, then to a grass background. So if you're following, pat yourself on the back. Good job. The next thing we're going to do is add a text layer to the picture. Now the neat thing with text layers is when you're done making the layer, it's going to automatically make the new layer for you, so you don't have to go manually make a layer for the text. So we're going to type in Avicious Sports Pools. I'm going to click in here and change the color here in our mini dialog box to white. Click OK, and we're going to resize it. We're going to change this size to 45. And this is how you edit in real time with the text tool. If you wanted to edit before you started, you use the properties function down here in the bottom left. Now obviously Avicious Sports Pools is not aligned correctly, so what we're going to do is move over here to the Move tool. We're going to highlight the layer we want to move, which is the text layer we made here. Click on one of the letters to move the layer, and we're going to move the layer and just eye it up in the center. There you have two layers now. You have a background and a text layer. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually add the Lombardi trophy to this, because this is actually going to be a football image that I'm walking you through for something that I do on the side. So what we're going to do is, there's several different ways to do it. I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it. If you're going to take a picture off the internet, is actually find it on the internet. Here is the Lombardi trophy on the Freeware Commons site. I'm going to right click, copy image, come back to Gimp. Then what I'm going to do is, since you want everything to be in a layer that you're adding to a picture, you're going to click Edit, You're going to click Paste As, and then you're going to click Paste as New Layer. And that's going to paste this new image as a new layer. And there you have it. You have the Lombardi trophy into what you already created. You have your text layer and you have your background layer. Now in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you a little more advanced things that you can do with this to make it look nice. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to work with a bunch of different more things to actually get you moving on this image. So thanks, guys.